Every single person who's ever tried selling on Amazon has run into this issue before. Before you sell some of the most popular products on Amazon, you have to get ungated or approved to sell those brands. And even though the ungating process isn't too crazy, you still want to be able to make that quick profit as much as possible. So in this video, I'm going to break down some specific products that you can sell, no ungating required, and I'm going to show you how to source more products just like these. So what you want to do to get a starting point to find some of these auto ungated brands that anyone can sell is go into your Seller Central account. I'm just on the add products tab, super simple here, and I'm going to punch in a brand I know that I was auto ungated for, and pretty much all new Amazon sellers are auto ungated for, being Stafford. It's like a clothing brand. And if you go in here and select new condition, it's just going to say sell this product. If you compare that to something like a brand that's really premium, if we look at something like DeWalt, for example, and I go to this brand, it's going to say I can only sell it in a used condition, or in this case, I can't even apply to sell this brand. Luckily, there's several thousand good brands on Amazon that either are auto ungated or at least let us apply. So the only time you can't sell a specific brand is when there's not even an application process to sell that brand. And if you compare that to something like this, which is just a different tools brand, I selected new condition and I'm able to sell this brand, but I need to apply to sell. If you see this button that says apply to sell, this means you're going to be able to sell this brand. You just need to get an invoice for that item. But like we were talking about at the beginning, getting that invoice, buying some profitable items, submitting that to Amazon, that can take a week or two. So we want to be able to make profit as soon as possible while we're waiting for some of these ungated products to go through. Let's start with an example of one of those specific auto ungated products. So that's going to be Stafford for today's video. If you've seen any previous auto ungating sourcing as well, we're going to try to find some new brands that are auto ungated as well. So definitely stick around. You'll see some new opportunities. And the main thing is I just want to show you how to find opportunities as an Amazon seller. And this is going to be the easiest low hanging fruit in order to actually start digging and finding profit, right? So I pulled up this listing. It doesn't matter what listing you go to, just go to any profitable product you already have, or if you're a true beginner, go to some of these auto ungated brands that we're going to find today. And then I'm going to use a tool called SellerAmp to start loading up some of the storefronts here. So on this listing, all of these storefronts are sourcing this auto ungated brand. So the chances that they're selling other things that are also auto ungated is going to be extremely high. And when I open this storefront, I can see all the different brands they're carrying. I can see all of the different categories they're carrying. So in this case, it seems like this seller is mostly just doing books. So I would bet that this person is like going to thrift stores and scanning the books. That's actually exactly how I started when I was a new Amazon seller. So that's cool to see. We can specifically focus on the clothing listings that they have. I'm not sure how much potential is going to be here, but we can definitely go ahead and check. And the way we do that is by hitting the Google button. And then when we Google these products, we want to make sure that we can buy these for the max cost option. So basically, if I can buy these for 14 to 15 bucks, I'm going to be able to sell these for a profit. And let's see. So the initial search results come up at 21. I also want to check these out. Those are like way discounted compared to normal. This is called storefront stalking, by the way, if you're brand new to Amazon, just looking through ideas other people already have. And one of the best ways to find some new opportunities is just checking out things that are a little bit cheaper than it seems like they should be. And especially here in this case, I see some of these underwear or whatever that would be profitable on some of these other ones. So I want to check that out. Let's see if we can find like these white ones right here. Okay, so the white ones are also 21 bucks and we need to buy those for, I believe it was like 14 or 15 bucks. So let's go ahead and just double check here that, yeah, these are 21 right there. Yeah, so those are all like 21. This one was interesting because I saw that it is majorly discounted compared to normal. So this is expanding on what we already know to do, but basically I want to search for this product title directly on Amazon, and I can do that with SellerAmp. So all I do is just highlight over the text, or in this case, I can also just click the SellerAmp Chrome extension and it's going to automatically pull the title from the listing for me. And that way I can easily check and see if there might be another listing for this 4-pack here. See, I'm not seeing anything specifically with that color. There's a chance that some of these variations, so like different versions of this product, will have that one on it. Let's see. I'm not seeing like the navy heather racing. But yeah, so I'm not super confident we're going to find something there, but let's go ahead and just keep on digging. Let's just go ahead and find the easier items here today. That person seems like they're doing still like mostly books and that kind of thing. Good for them. Let's check out someone that's doing more kind of our speed here. This person is pretty new to Amazon. They don't have too many products, and this should make it pretty straightforward to check as well. So let's see if I've ever seen this brand, this Carol Hochman, something like that. We need to buy these for $10.62, and let's try to figure out where you get these from. Maybe Walmart, maybe Costco. There's also the brand's website themselves. And all along the process, we're always looking for ways to create extra profit on these listings. So if we buy 10, we get $50 off. Seems like one per member per day. Okay, so we could buy one order of these every day. So how much does that save us? If we get 10 units and we save $50, that saves us $5 per unit. That's probably exactly how this person's making profit on this. I've never looked into this brand before, so we can also check and see if it is auto ungated. At least for my store, auto ungates are going to vary by account, but for the most part, they're going to be pretty similar for most seller accounts. And as you sell more and more products, you're going to be able to get auto approved to sell more more stuff, right? Amazon just trusts your account more. We're buying these for 14, but with that little discount, we can get 10 of these every day at $5 off. That makes these $9. So I would almost guarantee that's exactly how this person is getting these products profitably. So now let's also check and see if we're able to get auto ungated here, right? So let's go back to Amazon. I'm gonna punch in that Carol Hodgman right there. We're selling like some underwear. We'll go ahead and click that listing. So we want to sell it in new condition. And yes, so it looks like there's no application process on this. I also saw a couple of these. Yes, it has 17 sellers on that one. So lots of these listings have several sellers. So there would definitely be some opportunity to be had in this brand. So that's definitely interesting. I also want to check and confirm that we have the right colors and stuff. If not, then we'll have to keep on rolling. So this is all tan and all black. So what I want to do is just take this right here, punch that into Amazon and just do black right there, because I want the listing with the 5 black ones. So here's one right here. That is the extra large, and that's actually 35 bucks. So I bet that doesn't sell super fast. Let's see those right there. Maybe see, pictures look pretty similar. Yeah, so unknown stats on this. There is a roundabout way we can figure out if this actually sells. This is going a little bit more advanced, but you can go to data offers on Keepa. So for sourcing products, all you need is SellerAmp and Keepa. I'm trying to go fast enough here that I'm respecting your time, that kind of thing, but let me know in the comments if you guys have any questions about that kind of stuff I'm digging into here. But what this is showing me here is everyone's stock count and price over time. So for example, I can see that Keepa is not showing anyone has made sales on the last month, which could make sense with why there's no sales rank. So I would probably want to avoid that here. Let's see, trying to figure out if this is the right listing here. Let's see, black, rugby, interesting. I'm not sure if people are expecting different colors based on that. But yeah, so kind of an interesting one here. There could be some profit on that, which also makes me want to go back to the search results here and check out and see if there's any other sources for this type of stuff. This is probably just going to be like a 1-pack on this. Yeah, so it's not the 5-pack that we're hoping to find. But it's interesting. It's like surprisingly hard to find this like multicolor listing and stuff. Okay, we could get 15% discount here. Let's see, neutral multi. Was that the good listing we started on? I believe it was. Let's see. Yeah, so like a lot of like neutral colors, that kind of thing. Let's go back over here. Yeah, that looks pretty similar to me. And we're buying this for 16. So we do have a higher cost and we're not getting the $5 off. So 16. We can get 15% off with that email coupon, but that's not going to give us quite enough. Let's keep on rolling here. I'm almost confident there's some profit to be made there, but just for the sake of time, let's get to some good stuff here. Let's see. So Uniqlo, we can go ahead and check that brand as well. So let's go ahead and plug it in. I believe this is an auto ungate for a lot of new sellers. Let's see, Uniqlo clothing. And then, yeah, actually the first thing that comes up is those boxers we were starting with. So new, sell this product. Nice. I don't think I've ever sold this brand before and already showing ungated. So that's a good sign. And let's see. So these could be profitable actually. Buying these for $9.90. And they're on like a limited sale. So that's great, right? You want to be buying things that have a limited window where you can buy them profitably and then you can restock them whenever that sale comes back basically. So small, medium, large, and XL, those are all profitable and it seems like they're all in stock. Yeah, they're all letting me add it to cart. So I would probably pick up like 10 units of each one of these sizes. Let's just make sure they're all profitable because we are buying these for $9.90 right there. Our max cost is $10.50. So that's basically, we need to buy under that to meet our kind of ideal ROI and profit threshold. And in this case, yeah, all these would be profitable at that current price. And another thing to keep in mind is that I am including all of the extra fees and sales tax and that kind of thing. So I'm including 5% sales tax. I'm including an inbound shipping fee, which is about 60 cents a pound when you ship to Amazon. And when you do ship to Amazon, you want to make sure you use Boxum, which is a software that helps make the shipment process really fast and helps get those shipment rates down as much as possible, comparing all your options, that kind of thing. So technically that's 4 different products right there if we buy all the different variations. And let's actually see. So the navies are profitable too. They're actually more profitable. See, this navy medium is 26 bucks and we're buying those for $9.90 as well. $7 profit on those. Again, I'd probably pick up like 5 to 10 units of all those, place a test order, see how it goes. And that seems like a pretty solid auto ungated find there. Well, let's see if there's anything else in this person's storefront. It seems like they might have a little bit of private label or something going on, maybe making their own products on these like lip balm mounts or something like that. Very interesting. I also saw a Vineyard Vines is a little bit more like a premium brand. So I doubt this is auto ungated, but I'm just curious. And if we do find profitable items, remember, you can always buy 10 units directly from the brand in this case, and then use that online receipt to submit to Amazon and you'll get ungated as well. So if it does have an ungating process, don't let that make you think you can't sell it. You just have to go through the approvals process, which not too crazy. Just submit your invoice, that kind of thing. But let's just go ahead and check just because these are really cheap. I bet these are potentially profitable. And what I want to do is show you just a quick example of how I look through products with a lot of variations. So the first thing I like to do on Keepa is specifically go to variations. So this can show me all the different sizes and colors and that kind of thing. And then I want to sell things that Amazon is not my competitor on. I can go here and press Amazon no value. And then I can also filter by the current highest prices. It's like the most expensive one right now is this medium lime for $113, which there's no lime on this one. There is, however, this Jake Blake blue, which I see we have right here for buy box right now. So the customers are paying $97. You can see it's 88 plus shipping basically. Yeah, so going back over here, we're buying this for $41.49 and then plugging it in right here. So $41.49, which is a $23 profit. So not bad at all. And just because this is a more premium brand, I bet there is a gating process, but let's go ahead and confirm that. So plugging that ASIN in to Seller Central here, try to list this product, go to new, gonna load for a second. And yeah, actually you saw how it loaded for a second and then it's just gonna let me sell this product. So for me, this was an auto ungated brand. You could test that out and see if it's auto ungated for you as well. Just because it's a nicer brand, that might be one that I'm auto ungating because I've been selling on Amazon for a little while and I've got several million bucks in sales at this point, but cool to see that auto ungating process in action there. And so for you at home, when you're trying to figure out how to find those next profitable products, if you need a starting point after you watch this video, go to this listing right here, load up SellerAmp and start looking through the other storefronts on this Uniqlo listing, right? Because we're going to see all these different sellers. Again, they've done the work of finding auto ungated brands, or at least brands that you're probably going to be able to compete on. And especially what you can do is if you're worried about not being able to sell certain products, you can go to sellers with lower feedback amounts. So like this person here, they only have 18 feedback compared to this person who's selling the same product. They have 1,500 feedback, right? So this 18 feedback store is going to be really likely to be selling things that you're also able to auto ungate or at least approve fairly easily, right? So stuff like this, like Better Home and Gardens, this is a Walmart brand. So they're definitely buying stuff from retail stores. Just doing a quick check just for fun here. I get hooked on this type of stuff. Just see if there's any profit on this. Yeah. So just like Googling that, I see it comes for $2 each, is a 4-pack, but we need to buy it for $7. We just build that process of looking through products as fast as possible. Orange buttercream cake. Yeah. So this one's actually super profitable. It just doesn't sell very well. Yeah. Only 4 times a month. Usually I'm looking for 30 times a month at least, but yeah, that is a max cost of $8 and you can get it for 4. So that's another profitable example. I'm not going to include any winning products or anything like that by any means in this video, but that's just kind of like the basics of the process. And just for the sake of variety, let's go ahead and see if we can find some stuff in a different category. So for example, another great starting point in terms of getting into some new categories and looking for some auto ungated products is Red Heart. It's just like a yarn. It's auto ungated for basically everyone's storefront. And I'm going to do the exact same process we've been doing, right? We're just looking through the sellers that have already successfully found some winning products, and the chances that they have some other kind of auto ungates are going to be really high, right? So like I said, I'm just going to specifically focus on stuff that I know is a little more likely to be auto ungated. They only have a few products in that store. Let's see. A lot of those products require gating, just looking at it. All right, interesting. Yeah, so let's keep rolling here. So yeah, this person has 1 feedback. Anything this storefront's selling, you're going to be able to compete with them on. So they're selling like some Carters, they're selling some bras and that kind of thing. Yeah, let's go ahead and dig in on this. I'm actually curious on this. I don't know if I've ever seen this brand before. Could be profitable. We need this for 22. We're buying them for, seems like 11 to 14 each. And there's a 2-pack, especially with stuff like women's clothes, you're going to get a lot of returns. I would probably avoid, I'm usually looking for things with really high profit if I do sell like women's clothes and that kind of thing. Let's see. We can also just focus on the same brand we know is auto ungated already. So here's like a different color. Let's just see if we can find any of these like 3-packs profitably, honestly. Let's go ahead and hit the Google button, see what they sell for typically. That says a 3-pack. I doubt a 3-pack is $377. I bet that's the per unit. Yeah, 1 per unit. So we can actually get these for a little over $10, 377 times 3. So yeah, we get these for $11.31. And this one's actually selling for $26. Checking out the past prices. That seems pretty stable. Usually it's as low as $20 up to $26. By the way, if you don't know how to read this chart right here, the fundamental tools of being a seller, I've got plenty of free guides for you on the channel. You can watch that and kind of start learning a lot of the basics. That's super important for selling on Amazon. What we can do is see if there is a version of this that would be profitable, buying these for $11.31. And I can just check the variations tab again like we did before. While that loads, I'm going to check and see if there's anything else in the storefront. This American Standard. Interesting. It's like a flush valve or something like that. I've sold honestly anything under the sun. As long as it's profitable, I'll sell it. Let's see. It's like maybe $17. No picture. Universe parts. Let's see. Wish there was a picture. It's like a little bit more than our max cost anyway. Apple Barrel, I believe, is also another product that's sold at Walmart. See, a lot of these we need to buy them for like way too cheap, right? Amazon's on this listing. They're going to be getting a lot of sales. They're selling it for 58 cents. There's no way we're going to make profit selling something for 58 cents. But we can go back over here and check out, now that we've got all of these different options loaded in here. It seems like this one is $27. So I am actually interested to see if we can compete on this. I do see Amazon's also been selling it. Yeah, so we wouldn't be able to compete with them on this. Unfortunately, it would be profitable. But you see how on this listing, Amazon is owning all of the sales. Kind of that orange bar at the top, that shows me when Amazon is winning a lot of the sales basically. And I can also check SellerAmp for that. So I can see that Amazon has won about 76% of the sales over the last few days here. Although what that could actually be related to, maybe it would even test this out. You can see that there's been no other prime sellers. So the only other sellers on this listing are shipping shipping like directly from their house via FBM, which you can definitely make a lot of sales on Amazon doing that. But Amazon will tend to give you more sales if you're an FBA seller, especially when you're competing with Amazon, right? Because Amazon has that prime shipping. If you're shipping out of your house, you don't have prime shipping, obviously. But if you ship it off to Amazon, you are actually able to get that prime shipping. I might actually test this out personally, buying this for $11.31. I would just do 5 or 10 units FBA. It sells really fast. It's like a 400 sales rank. That's usually going to be a crazy fast seller. So like this particular style sells over 50 times a month. So yeah, I'd probably test 5 units there just for fun. We can see if we can find like a more obvious home run from one of these like craft supply auto ungates. And in this case, I can see they have like this different storefront here with 11 feedback. They have 20 of these red heart products. Definitely curious on those. Like a 3-pack for 7 right there. Here's a 3-pack for 10.18. Maybe we can get those a little bit cheaper. Let's see, 10.31 for this. So it'd be really close to that kind of typical number I like to look for. This is like a slightly different listing too. It seems like some different styles and stuff. 11, or no, we were buying this for 10.31. Yeah, so 10.31. It's like barely below that kind of ideal threshold I like to look for. So if I'm a new Amazon seller, I just want to test out, make some sales, make a little bit of profit, that kind of thing. That's not bad at all. But once you get to the point where you're having to be a little bit more picky and really running low on money because you're finding too many opportunities, then that's probably the type of thing you don't buy. But I like that more than the one we're having to beat Amazon to some sales. And let's see. So I'm skipping past a lot of these just because the max cost is really low or the sales are too low for me, like 10 sales a month, that kind of thing. Like I don't want to manage another product to make 2 to 5 sales a month as my chunk of that item, right? But some decent finds in there. Let's see, what's the bulk buy? There's also some under interesting yet, nothing popping up there. Sweet. So we're able to find a couple good auto ungated products. We also found this that was auto ungated for me. Maybe test that out and see if something like that is auto ungated for your store. And then once you kind of understand how to actually find these products, the last piece of the business that you want to have a good handle on is making sure you're actually making money, right? So that's where you'll use a software called Boxum. So Boxum, Keepa, and SellerAmp will run your entire Amazon business. And after you've actually gone out and sourced these products, you'll go into Boxum and you'll create a shipment. That way you can ship products off to Amazon, and Amazon is going to sell these to your customers for you as those sales start to trickle in. So I do have a full shipment guide on the channel that you can check out after this video, but using a software like this is really valuable. Now that you're a business owner, you want to make sure the value of your time is as high as possible. So this is going to do things like store your costs for you as you're listing products on Amazon, so you know what you're actually making. It makes the process of actually shipping off to Amazon much simpler. So it's only 3 total steps when you use Boxum versus a lot more complication when you use Seller Central or any other software that does something similar. And then you can also take advantage of 2D barcodes in the box content. So this is something that's slightly more advanced, but I didn't use it for way too long because I didn't know how to do it and it was really complicated. But now you can just use Boxum and switch box contents to 2D barcodes, and that's going to automatically add a barcode to the shipping label that you put on the outside of the box. And when that checks in at Amazon, I've been seeing sales happen on my account a couple days faster on average. Helps the process at Amazon. So really speeds up how fast you're making money, helps you beat competitors to listings when you use stuff like this. Use 2D barcodes, use this to get products into Amazon faster. So that's just kind of the last piece of the puzzle. And if you want to give it a try to start making shipments really fast, I'll leave a link down below so you can check out Boxum. But now you know exactly what to start looking into selling, even if you're a brand new seller with nothing ungated. If this was helpful, hit the subscribe. That kind of stuff helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. Also, make sure you grab a 2-week free trial of SellerAmp and Boxum down below. Those are the softwares that you actually need to run your Amazon business. And if you want to see that next step of the process and go in depth on how to actually get these products shipped off to Amazon and start making the money as soon as possible, click this video right here.